I really, 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 really hate you, grandfather, if you're listening to this. I'm sorry for starting this so negatively, but I just wish to express my utter disdain for my grandpa and his zany old man antics. He treats me like a 2-year-old, which is ironic given he's the one between the two of us who's incontinent now. Even though I've been to Fordham University twice and work as a waiter at a high-class restaurant called Sindley Edie Time. Every time a birthday or Christmas comes by, my grandpa will make it his sole goal to give me loads of kids' shows DVDs. The worst kinds of them, may I add: Peppa Pig, Super Y, Little Einsteins, Barney, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, the lost episode of Metroid, etc. My grandpa works as an assistant in a CEX and is a personal protege of his boss, Mr. Carface, who supplies my grandpa with loads of free DVDs. Mr. Carface is a fat fucking bulldog who stinks of cheese and wee. He also can't go 2 seconds without smoking a cigar. And that just makes me sick to my stomach. Gullet! Of all the shows my grandpa forces me to sit through, the worst of them, in my opinion, is none other than Peppa Pig. It is the worst fucking show I have ever seen, and trust me, I have eyes. I never liked it, even when I was a wee 2-year-old living in the hills of Russia. For some reason. I'm not going to bother explaining the lore of Peppa Pig, because quite frankly, dear, I haven't got the time, as I really need to take a shit, like some kind of Mickey Mouse when he doesn't get his hot dog. You know how it is. Hot dog. My grandpa and Mr. Carface are fully aware of my immense hatred for the Peppa Pig, and Mr. Carface supplies my grandpa with buckets upon buckets of Peppa Pig DVDs, video games, plush toys, even though CEX doesn't sell plush toys. Now what the fuck? I mean, seriously. One warm spring afternoon, I was making a fishy Zimbabwe sandwich. If you don't know what that is, well, let me just say you're going to find out someday, Buster. While I was making the sandwich, my grandpa came in holding a CEX bag. I got you a new DVD, boyo, my grandpa said while shoving a faggot cigar into his mouth. Or at least I certainly hope it was a faggot cigar. Looked like a bunch of hot air to me. I looked at my grandpa with contempt before asking, "Oh, and let me guess, it's another Peppa Pig DVD, isn't it, grandfather?" My grandpa smiled a wicked onion cat smile before saying, "Why, yes, my boy, yes it is." My grandpa then proceeded to reach inside the plastic bag and threw me the DVD, like Shaq when he shoots touchdowns. It hit me in the chest and caused me to start vomiting inside my intestines. But that's a whole other story. Knowing you probably want to hear all about it, probably turns you on. Well, stop being weird. It's far too long to tell without a drink in my hand. Know what I mean? Ecto Cooler. I looked the DVD over. The cover had a picture of Daddy Pig standing on top of a hill with flames in the background. Also, Daddy Pig was pulling a very evil grin. He looked like someone you just don't want to mess with. I mean, first of all, he's a pig and a man, an adult. The back of the DVD was rather odd. It was a picture of Petchy, the pirate, dealing cookie dough with the Empire Bay triads. Who on earth took that picture? Well, then again, keep in mind, people used to kill each other all the time over spices like a bunch of friggin' army ants. Wonder what the story was behind that, though. Perhaps it was a deep metaphor for history of wars. Anyway, I proceeded to try and explain to my grandfather that I was really busy for work as I was working a late shift, but my grandpa was having none of it. because in his mind I was still a wee little baby, and babies aren't allowed to work since Teddy Roosevelt passed those child labor laws. He forced me to sit down in the living room and threw my half-made sandwich in the trash can. The rude carrot onion. My grandpa proceeded to put the disc into the nearby DVD player. I began browsing on my phone. My neighbor Frank Cough Drops came to the window and poked his disgusting face through it. Bruce, you must stop watching that DVD before. Cough Drops was silenced when my grandpa threw a brick at Cough Drops' face. Suddenly Big Smoke came in and said, "What was that all about, baby?" "Never you mind, Smoke," my grandpa instructed as the commercials began to play. "Never you mind, Smoke." Only the commercials were extremely weird. No, this sounds like a typical life experience for me. One commercial had the local potato farmer getting beaten up by a debt collector. Another had Larry the Lobster downing protein shakes with Richard Bagg laughing as he laced them with Mega Colon Blow. And another one had BSL, Reaction, Asylum, watching a Super Mario U2 poop. "It's bad!" BSL yelled at the top of his mighty lungs of mightiness. You see, old BSL was quite high on toast. Probably powdered toast. After this, the main menu finally appeared. Oh, thank heavens. It was rather bland and was just a picture of Peppa, and George playing on the computer with Daddy Pig. There was also a horrid instrumental of the main theme playing in the background. It sounded awful and made my ears bleed out eggshells. There were over 9,000 options to choose from, but I didn't have time to go through all of them. No, not me, the busiest 2-year-old in the world. Got to play with trains and frog dolls and... well, that's enough. One of the options read, Rap Rat Talks Back. Curious, I clicked and was treated to a video of my grandpa rapping with Rap Rat and Cool Cat, while Daddy Derek was dancing with Glowbox in the background. "It's a hip-a-hop with the coolest cat and the best rat," Derek sang, but in a sickly, strong Southern accent, because that's how he rolls. "It's a hip-a-hop with the coolest cat and the best rat." Suddenly, the king of Hyrule came into my house and yelled, "Enough." You should have knocked. I exited out of the video and clicked play episode instead, and the episode began with the normal theme song. "Green Acres is a place for me." Well, actually, it was anything but normal. Well, for starters, none of the other characters were present in the intro. It's only Daddy Pig, and all the snorting noises were replaced with farts. Big ones, too, and oh my gosh, did they smell. Right through the television, I could smell the awful flatulence. So the episode started with an outside view of Peppa's house. The title appeared on screen and it read, The Ballad of Daddy Pig. Oh, I've seen about every single episode of Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig. Because my grandpa forced me to watch them, but I ain't ever seen an episode named that before. I shook it off because I was quite a big fan of Taylor Swift after all. The episode then showed the inside of Peppa's house with Daddy Pig watching TV in the living room. Suddenly, Peppa came in and yelled, "Daddy, you need to go for the run, and lose that fat belly of yours." Daddy Pig shook his head violently before saying, "Just a minute, Peppa. I want to finish my show." All of a sudden, the TV switched off as Goofy had pulled out the plug. Goofy then looked at Daddy Pig with an incredibly cheesy grin. It was cheesier than Wallace's Cheese Collection. That's just a reference to a British show. You see, with my accent, I'm obviously British. See, British, I'm so British. Bangers and mash and take the lift straight to mega hell. Mega mad for it. Oasis rules! Daddy Pig was then forced to go on a run and was clearly very tired, as he'd just gotten home from an incredibly long and hard day at work that his family didn't appreciate because, I don't know, they were fucking pigs. He tried to tell Peppa and Mommy Pig about this, but they were having absolutely none of it. Sick Sick bastards. Anyway, Daddy eventually returned home and fell on top of the sofa and tried to take a nap. Suddenly the TV switched on, and Mr. Potato came on screen holding a picture of Daddy Pig. "Daddy Pig is very bad. Very bad. Pat, pat, pat. Very pat. Very pat. Fat. P-H-A-T. Fat. Isn't he, children?" Mr. Potato asked before continuing with, "Daddy Pig needs some exercise." This caused Daddy Pig to shoot up like a brick and ask, what? Mr. Potato then yelled, "Dance, Piggy, dance!" Kind of reminded me of how Squidward was once tormented by Fat Billy No Bear, but that's another story entirely. I have a lot of characters that regularly invade my daily thoughts and interactions. Daddy Pig then proceeded to dance to the rhythm of the jungle. All the while Mr. Potato constantly went on, off, on. Daddy Pig being so fat. Suddenly Peppa and George came in with Peppa yelling, "Look, that fat belly, Daddy!" This caused Daddy Pig to start tearing up as Mr. Worry came in and said, "This could be trouble." Daddy Pig then fell to the floor and fell fast asleep. Oh, the following day something ominous and terrible and terrifying happened. Daddy Pig woke up late for work and found out that his car had been towed by Miss Rabbit for some unknown reason. "Oh dear," the narrator said like a cigarette as Daddy Pig began racing down the hall all the way to his work. At work, Daddy's boss, Mr. Hinkle, forced Daddy to drop and give him 20 push-ups. He then increased the number to 69, of all things, as the old Hinkle did have a thing for Daddy Pig, if you know what I mean. So all the rumors were true. Returning home that night, Daddy Pig plopped down onto the sofa, and Peppa came in and changed the channel, which caused Daddy Pig to say, "But Peppa, I was watching that." "But it was a bit boring, Daddy," Peppa said. Suddenly, Mommy Pig came in and forced Daddy Pig into making pancakes. Typical frigging woman. "The secret behind a smelly pancake is to flip it," Daddy Pig said as he attempted to flip the pancake only to have it stick to the ceiling. "What a shit pancake," Mommy Pig laughed. All of a sudden, Squidward came on screen and smiled, but it was a rather sinister, squiddy smile. I wouldn't trust him with a cat or a dog. Suddenly, a lightning strike could be heard outside as Daddy yelled, "That's it! I've had enough!" Daddy Pig proceeded to beat Mommy Pig senselessly with the frying pan. He then turned his attention to Peppa and proceeded to throw her out the window. He then proceeded to sit on top of George, crushing him to death in the process. I had no doubt Child Protective Services was going to hear about this one. Daddy Pig then ran upstairs into his bedroom and pulled out a shotgun. "I never thought I'd have to use this," Daddy Pig hissed as he ran outside to find out that his car was still towed. Police Constable Al Priss came up to Daddy Pig and said, "We've had complaints about a domestic violence dispute. Can you—" Oh. Well, Daddy Pig proceeded to shoot Priss in the head with his shotgun, killing him instantly. Defund and abolish. He then proceeded to kill Miss Rabbit, Rebecca Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit, Susie Sheep, Danny Dog, Danny Phantom, and Madame Gazelle, among others. Daddy then proceeded to reach the theater where Mr. Potato and his family were filming a dumb Christmas show, even though it wasn't even a Christmas-themed episode. Racist, 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 racist. Daddy Pig jumped on top of the stage and killed Mr. Potato's family before yelling, "Mr. Potato, I've come for you!" "Oh, sugar honey iced tea!" Mr. Potato cried as Daddy Pig proceeded to grab Mr. Potato and lift him into the air with his immense piggy strength. Daddy Pig then proceeded to drag Mr. Potato outside and threw him into the trunk of his car. Arriving back at the house, Daddy Pig threw Mr. Potato onto the kitchen side and grabbed a potato masher and proceeded to mash Mr. Potato into mashed potatoes. And then he ate the messy potato in 2 seconds flat because he's a fucking pig, durr. Suddenly the narrator in human form came into the house and said, Daddy Pig is very handsome. Daddy Pig then proposed to the narrator, and the two got married 2 months later with a time montage being shown, which included their wedding and them moving into Mr. Potato's mansion. Daddy Pig is then seen eating a pumpkin and says, "Pumpkins are the only thing I can eat." Suddenly, Mr. Pumpkin came in and yelled, "No, I don't want that." With that, the episode ended with the normal credits. Well, there was a post-credits scene which featured Mr. Pumpkin at a restaurant owned by Markiplier, of all people. "Give me the jam," Mr. Pumpkin said, to which Markiplier asked, "Are you selling drugs, mister?" Mr. Pumpkin's eyes dashed violently from left to right as he said quickly, "Of course not." Markiplier had caught wind of the drug business Mr. Pumpkin had going on with the Marcano crime family. For Mr. Pumpkin was a close friend of Uncle Lou. Too close, one could say, but I digress. I'm a big fan of Wii Sports after all, but then again, who isn't really? I got tennis elbow playing Wii Sports tennis. Suddenly, I felt a revolver touch the back of my head, as my grandpa said in a quiet voice, "Stick 'em up, cowboy!" "Not again!" I proclaimed angrily as I punched my grandpa square in the face. We then proceeded to have an epic fight with Frank Cough Drops and the King of Hyrule, cheering us on in the background. "Kick his arse!" Cough Drops yelled as I proceeded to beat the ever-living snots out of my grandpa. Remember, he thinks that I'm 2 years old. Probably shouldn't have told him that those pictures that I watch on DeviantArt. I then proceeded to call the police, who arrived at my house 2 hours later to take my grandpa to jail. The police officers who came to arrest my grandpa were none other than Sam and Max themselves. "Jumping jellyfish on a sardine sandwich. We finally got him, Max," Sam proclaimed happily. You see, as it turns out, my grandpa was involved in a nefarious business with Mr. Carface. They were getting their products from the Empire Bay Triads, who wished to take over the French ward, and Mr. Carface was more than happy to oblige by cutting his ties with the Marcano family. After my grandpa was arrested, Mr. Carface was caught not long after. Both of them were given life in prison. Also, a huge chunk of the Triads were put in the electric chair. They may be sticking a firecracker up my arse, but I couldn't give a flying duck. Life began getting harder for me as well. And then better! I ended up moving to Empire Bay, got a respectable job as property magnate, and rumored crime boss Leo Galante's accountant. I get paid $100,000 per month and use my money to buy a house in Greenfield and have my own luxury Sherbert Fragate, the best sports car in the whole ducking world. Seriously, if you go on DeviantArt, if you post pictures of cartoon characters wearing diapers, then there's something up with you. Meanwhile, Mr. Cough Drops took over the CEX that my grandpa once worked at and turned into a spotted dick manufacturing plant. Spotted dick. Yeah, that's funny. I learned something from that Peppa Pig episode, you know. Humor can be horrifying. It's not funny anymore. I learned that there comes a time when you must stand up to people who insult and belittle you, no matter who's backing them. When you finally learn to stand up for yourself, good times can happen. Now, if you excuse me, my dear friends, I need to go and take a steamy dump. Goodbye for now.